right. All right, Shalawam. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone who taught me this truth through the spirit and power. YAHAWASHI. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalawam and Lord Wills, video is edifying. Now, this lesson is coming from a clip that I got from a movie, and the movie is called Greece 2. All right, now I'm gonna get the clip, and basically it's going into Russia, which in the scriptures, Russia, all right, in prophecy is is called Gog and Magog, and also known as what the Medes. And I'm finna go into that, and Lord will, this video is edifying. Okay, so so I'm gonna play this clip, and actually I'm gonna skip past it. All right, it's like a musical movie, okay, with like bikers, okay, but get what I'm looking for. All right, right here, this is it right here, okay. So I'm gonna go past it a little bit.
It started. America is calling. Let's care enough to give our very best.
What started? What's happening, Louis?
The Russians are attacking. Get down. For if we give.
All right, now I don't know if you heard what he said, but basically what he said is the Russians are attacking. Get down. Okay, and basically, and I got the lyrics right here. The lyrics, smear.com. Okay, so it says, let me see. Greece 2. All right, so it says the Russians are attacking. Get down. And that's the point. And basically, Russia, all right, the Russians are in prophecy and basically are going to help in the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great. And that's what this lesson is going into. America, all right, basically is Babylon the Great. All right, and Russia, one of the key nations in prophecy, one of the key nations that bend the bow, you know, are going to shoot their missiles, their arrows to America. And America is going to be destroyed in these end times. So Lord will, this video is edifying. Okay? And I have my precepts right here. The book of Revelation, chapter 20. All right? And I'm going to start here first. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 2. And I'm going to start here. It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Now this dragon, all right, it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. All right, it's not talking about a red man, you know, with a pitchfork and two horns. What this is speaking of is the so-called white man, the children of Edom, and basically going into the time when they were ruling as the Romans. Okay, all right, and basically the people who rule over today, the so-called white man, are the Edomites, and basically we're living in Rome 2.0. All right, the revived Roman Empire, America, NATO, and the EU, America being Babylon the Great. But to get back to the topic, like I said, when it says he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, once again, this is representing the Roman Empire / the so-called white man. All right, and I can prove that when you go to the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter, because the scriptures tell us what this dragon is. This book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 3. Okay, it says, and basically this is not let's read. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. And this great red dragon represents the Roman Empire. All right, this is the same, you know, 4th kingdom that you read of in the book of Daniel, the beast with 10 horns. And let's go get that. Let's go get that in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. Because remember, there'll be kingdoms that will rule over the earth. And the scriptures go into those main, you know, it goes into 5 kingdoms when you read in the book of Daniel. It goes into the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans, then the fifth kingdom, which would be the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Jacob, the kingdom of the nation of Israel. Okay, so this is the book of Daniel 7, which goes into those 5 kingdoms again. All right, and I want to drop down to verse 7, and it says, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had what? It had 10 horns. All right, this represents what? The Roman Empire. And when we're reading about that dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns, it's still talking about what? The Roman Empire. Okay, now when you drop down to verse 9, it says, and the great dragon. What's the great dragon? It's still talking about the Roman Empire. It's still talking about Esau, the so-called white man. All right, was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Now why is it called Satan? You know, why is it called the devil? Because, all right, basically the reason, all right, the so-called white man, you know, it basically the so-called white man is the physical counterpart of Satan. They do the bidding of Satan on the earth. All right, and let me get that verse. All right, and I'm gonna get back to the Russia, just laying down, you know, just getting this first. All right, where do I want to go again? Oh, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And this man of sin is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. The same people that swear in on the Bible, that say God bless America, right? That say in God we, all right, on the dollar bill saying God we trust, you know, but they do everything that's contrary to the scriptures, everything that's contrary to the Bible. This is the man of sin, you know. That's advertising burgers with pork on it, man. Okay? All right? That's pushing these pagan holidays. All right? But when you drop down the verse 9, it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, man. Because the man of sin, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, basically he's the physical counterpart of Satan on the earth. So we're reading in the book of Revelation, when it goes to that great red dragon, which represent the Roman Empire / Esau, right? The man of sin, and it goes into what? That old serpent, which is called the devil and Satan. The so-called white man is the physical counterpart of Satan, man. Okay? So, now let's go back to the book of Revelation 20. So, what this going into is the Roman Empire, all right, and Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And it says, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nation no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and he shall be, after that he shall be loosed a little season, right? And that's talking about when the so-called white man was basically put down for roughly 1,000 years, you know, and going into the you had the fall of the Roman Empire, then you had the starting of what? The Middle Age. All right, the Middle Ages, the medieval ages, the dark ages, where us Israelites were ruling in Europe. That's where you get the dark images of the Messiah, the dark images of the angels, the dark images of the Most High, the dark images of the saints. Okay, all right? Because us Israelites were ruling in Europe, man. That's where, you know, the Byzantine Empire. And when you search at the Byzantine Empire, what will come up? It goes into how when the Western, all right, the Western Roman Empire fell, the Byzantine Empire, or the Eastern half of the Roman Empire, lasted for what? 1,000 years. Or sometimes they say 1,100 years, man. But basically 1,000 years, man. Okay? And then after that, you will have the Renaissance, which will take place after the Dark Ages, after the Middle Ages, after the time where Jake was ruling. All right? The Renaissance means rebirth, revival, resurgence, and that's when the so-called white man was basically coming back into power. You see? Esau was coming back into rulership. And this is what took place on the earth. And when you drop down to verse 7, it says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. And that's what happened. The so-called white man came out of that low state that he was in, all right, and started coming back into power during the time of the Renaissance, man. All right, which will lead to what we're living in today, America, NATO, and the EU, which is what? This revived Roman Empire, which is why the scriptures going to what? That head that was wounded to death and the deadly wound was healed. The head was Rome, man, the Roman Empire. The deadly wound was when they were bound for 1,000 years. And then the deadly wound being healed, starting at the Renaissance. You see that? Okay. So and it will lead up to what we're living in today. But verse 8, it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And this is what the so-called white man did when he came into power, man. He told the world, you know, that the Son of God looked like him, that the Most High looks like him, the angels, they look like him. You see, he enslaved the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, and basically forwarded himself in the earth. Okay, so it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. And basically Rome would come back, man. All right, and to prove that, what I was going into in the book of Daniel, when it goes into and this verse is going to go into Russia, this verse 8 that I'm reading. When you go back to the book of Daniel, when I was going into those 5 kingdoms, all right, you had the 4th kingdom, which is what? The Roman Empire. Then the 5th kingdom was what? The everlasting kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Jacob. But see, the Roman Empire already fell. So why do we not see YAHAWASHI ruling? Why do we not see the everlasting kingdom established upon the earth? That's because when Rome fell, that wasn't the end-all be-all for the Roman Empire, because Rome would come back in the form of America, NATO, and the EU, which is what we're living in today. And the Messiah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, whose true name is YAHAWASHI, is going to return to the earth to take the so-called white man out of power, to take down this 4th beast. Then that everlasting kingdom is going to be established, man. This is what's taking place, man. And this is what's going to take place. All right. And America is going to end up being destroyed, which we're going to get into. Going back to the movie, the Russians are attacking, get down. And then we're going to go into Russia right now. So it says, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And Gog and Magog is what? Russia. You see that? Russia is Gog and Magog, man. Okay? Now, what I also want to go into, when you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, you see? Because Russia is going to take part, all right, in the destruction of Babylon the Great, in the destruction of America. And the destruction of America which is an extension of the Roman Empire. All right? So let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and let's get this going into the feet. You know, and the feet is what? The bottom. Okay? Let's read Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. It says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. The leopard is going into what? The Greeks. All right. And who were the Greeks? The Greeks were Edomites, so-called white people, man. All right. When you go back to the book of Maccabees, the scriptures say Alexander, the son of Philip, the Macedonian. Who else in the scriptures was known as a Macedonian? Haman, the son of Amadephel, the Agagite. And Agag, all right, Agagite meaning what? A descendant of Agag. And Agag was a descendant of who? Amalek. And Amalek is the grandson of Esau. You see, the Macedonians, Alexander the Great, those Greeks, they were all Edomites, man. Okay? Those so-called white people, man, they were Edomites. And now you had Jakes that basically, you know, they were, like the scriptures say, how it was unlawful for them to call themselves Jews when you read in the book of Maccabees. So you had Jake being called what? Grecians. All right, and that's where you get the time of Hellenization. All right, which is another reason, you know, Esau take, and that's a part of knowing the mystery of the Gentiles too. Okay, but so it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. You see that? It went from the first to the bottom, man. The top to the bottom. The Greeks were the first. All right, the first, and the bear is going to what? Russia. And even when you search at Russia's mascot, or is it Moscow mascot? Let me see. Russia emblem or mascot. Emblem. Let me see. Is it? Oh, wow. The coat of arms of Russia. And notice how, let me see what this is. It's a black two-headed eagle. And what the scriptures say about Edom. All right. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. And because the Russians are Edomites too, by the way. All right, the Russians are Edomites too, but that's not what I wanted to get. Russia. Should I search mascot? No, not this. Slocking, man. Russia. I'm just search bear. Russia bear. It says the Russian bear is a widespread symbol for Russia, used in cartoons, articles, and dramatic plays since as early as the 16th century, and relating alike to the Russian Empire, the short-lived Russian provisional government in Russian Republic, the Soviet Union, and the present-day Russian Federation. Okay? This what that bear represent, man. Russia. This what that bear represent right here. Okay? This is that bear. This is that bear. Russia, man. Alright, and the leopard represent the Greeks. Okay? And the feet, where's the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the lion is going into Great Britain. Okay? Great Britain, which America comes out of Great Britain, the 13 British colonies. And it says, and the dragon gave him his power and seat and great authority. And what's the dragon? The Roman Empire. That's what the dragon is, the Roman Empire, man. You see that? And no, but basically that's the point of the verse. But I really wanted to just go into the bear, which is Russia. You see, and Russia is the feet, and Russia is gonna basically help take part in the destruction of America, man. All right. So, now I want to go to the book Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, right? Because we went into Revelation 20, going into Gog and Magog. Okay. This is book Ezekiel 38, verse 1, and it says, and the word of the Lord Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, speaking of Russia, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And watch this, Persia, there go Iran. You see that? Not only Russia is in the scriptures, but Iran too. Persia, Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, and all them with shields and helmets, Golmar and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And Russia is a guard, you know, unto some of these nations, man, or unto these nations. Okay? And basically that's the point. All right? And you know, these nations, man, they're going to come up against America, against Babylon the Great. And let's not forget about the land of Israel. Okay, let's not forget about the land of Israel, because the land of Israel too is going to be all right, cleansed. All right, well, let me not say too cleansed, but the land of Israel is going to be hit too. You see, I'm going to say that. Yeah, I'm going to correct myself. The land of Israel is going to be hit too, because who's in the land of Israel? The Edomites, man. The people who rule this world. Not the real sons of Jacob. The real sons of Jacob are in America. All right, Salakia. Okay, but like I was saying, man, let's not forget about the land of Israel, which has been inhabited by who? The wicked, the man of sin, the people who rule this world. All right. The scripture say in the book Ezekiel 36 and 5, Idumea, all right, which I've appointed my land into their possession. Roughly paraphrasing. You see, and Idumea is the Greek word saying Edom. And that also shows you the when you go back to Herod, his father was Antipater the Idumean. You see, the Herod was an Edomite. Antipater was an Edomite. The Romans were Edomites. The Greeks were Edomites. You see, but man. All right, now let me get into that. Let's go into the land of Israel real quick before we get to America. Let me drop down. What verse am I looking for? Right here. Verse 18, it says, and it shall come to pass at the same time when Gog, Russia, shall come against the land of Israel. You see that? The land of Israel, saith the Lord Yahawah, that my fury shall come up in my face, for in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, man. You see that? So that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all the men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence, and the mountain shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground, man. You see that? Israel finna be hit. Okay? The land got to be cleansed so the real people could go back with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The true nation of Israel, which are in captivity. Because according to prophecy, the Lord, YAHAWASHI, would take the Israelites back to the land, man. You see? All right? Showing you that them devils in our land are not the true sons of Jacob, but the sons of Edom. All right? But all right, let's go back to the book of Revelation 20, because that too is going to go into, all right, the land of Israel. All right, verse 20, Gog and Magog. Okay. In verse 9, it says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed, watch this. It says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints. All right. The camp of the saints, the land of Israel, and the beloved city, which is what? Jerusalem. You see that? And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. And that's what's coming, man. Fire. All right? Fire is coming, man. Okay? All right? So, all right? Let's go to, now what I want to do, I want to go to Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 now. Jeremiah 50. Okay. This Jeremiah chapter 50. Let me see what I want. I'm going to start at verse 14. Okay. Verse 14, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord, YAHAWASHI. Now, what is this speaking of? All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. All right? When it says, all ye that bend the bow, going into the nations that bend the bow. All right? And these nations are going to shoot their arrows, which are their missiles, at America, which is going to destroy America, man. Which is going to burn America. Okay? And what's one of the main nations? Russia. And we're going to get into it. Let's go up to verse 9. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly. All right. Okay. So I will raise and cause to come up against America an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows, those missiles, shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And that's what's going to happen, man. You see that? These nations are going to shoot their arrows, which are their missiles. Okay? Now let's drop down to verse 29 and watch this. Watch this. I like verse 29, man. Verse 29, it says, call together the archers against Babylon. Now, what are the archers? The archers are the other nations. Now, why are they likened unto archers? Because archers have what? They have bow and arrows. And these nations have, all right, arrows, which represent what? Their missiles, man. That's why they're likened unto archers. Okay? Call together the archers against Babylon, right? The nations, all ye that bend the bow. All right? Now, notice how it says, all ye that bend the bow. Now, what's one of the main nations? What this lesson is going into, that bend the bow? Russia, which goes back to the clip from the movie. The Russians are attacking, man. You see? Get down and let's go get a precept. Because remember, I said the Russia in the scriptures known as Gog and Magog, but also what? The Medes. And when you go to Isaiah 13, verse 17, we're going to get it. Isaiah 13, verse 17, it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes, which are the Russians, against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows, which goes back to Jeremiah 50, all ye that bend the bow, right? Which goes back to Jeremiah 50 and 14.
All right, my scripture, man.
Jeremiah 50 and 14. All right. Bend, how does it go again? Bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. You see? The Medes, which are the Russians, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, which is America, there go America, man. You see, watch this. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be is when YAHAWASHI overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how did the Lord overthrow Sodom and Gomorrah? He rained fire upon Sodom and Gomorrah. And fire is going to come to America by the way of what? Missiles, man. Okay? By the way of missiles. And this is what's coming. Okay? So, hey, really, that's the point. All right? Hey, yeah, that's the point right there. So let's go back to the lyrics. I'm going to read it again. Where is that? Right. The Russians are attacking. Get down. And the Russians is what? Gog and Magog and the Medes. All right? Let's go back to the clip. Why not? Right? Clip.
Someday we must expect.
Kablam! Nuclear night war!
It started. America is calling. Let's care enough to give our very best.
What started? What's happening, Louis?
Russians are attacking. Get down.
All right, so man. Hey, I'm going to close it out. Getting infinite praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, HaMashiach, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honor to the elders and apostles, great millstone, time of this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalawam, and Lord will, this video is edifying.